Sup guys, I'm Kel, Red Zone Rogue, and welcome to another Force of Will Top 10 video. And before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Happy Little Hug Factory. They are an excellent website that sells both Force of Will and Warhammer Age of Sigmar Champions singles and sealed product. They have excellent pricing, and because of that, they do tend to sell out pretty quickly, so I would check them out as soon as possible. I do have an affiliate link in the description down below. Clicking it will help me out and maybe let you pick up something that you're looking to get. But without further ado, let's jump into the top 10 list. This is my top 10 New Dawn Rises cards, the first set in the new Valhalla cluster. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm not going to be covering any of the starter deck cards. I'm going to do that in a separate video. This is just focusing on the booster pack cards and the New Dawn Rises set. And also, this isn't the top 10 best cards in the set. These are my favorite cards. If this is a top 10 best cards, I think it would be pretty boring. You know, there's like a 1-drop discard spell, and it's good. It's really good, but I think it's really boring. So, without further ado, a second time, let's get started. So the first card is Oborozuki. I think I'm saying that name right. She looks fucking awesome. She's a 600/600 for 2 darkness, Resonator Vampire. She has an enter ability. It says you may banish a Resonator if you do put a fresh blood counter on this card. This card gains +200/+200 and has flying as long as there is a fresh blood counter. So it's an 800/800 flying for 2 if you banish a dude when it comes into play. And I think that's going to be easy to do with a lot of the other cards in the set. And it says when this card attacks, you may banish a Resonator. If you do, target Resonator gains -400/-400 until end of turn. Pretty good. And it also has an Awakening ability. This is pretty gnarly. Of 4 darkness, destroy all J-Rulers. This card is awesome. It is a big beater. It has some removal capabilities. It has like some situational removal capabilities. I really like this card a lot. Also, the art is choice. So yeah, I like Oborozuki quite a bit. And also, this list isn't in no particular order. This might be one of my favorite cards in the set, but I'm just including it as the first card. So let's go over the next one. The next card is Siegfried, the 100 Years Hero. And once again, this card is kind of similar to the last one, actually. So he's an 800/800 for 2 light and 1 of any. He's a Resonator human. He has this rune ability. So rune and then 2 light pips. Basically, that means if you've revealed 2 light runes for your J-Ruler. It says if this card would be dealt damage, prevent 200 of it. So it's pretty sweet. And then he has his other second rune ability with 4 rune pips. So if you've revealed 4 light runes, this card gains +200/+200 and barrier chant. So he's a 1000/1000 barrier chant. Super good. And he has an awakening of 2 light and 1 of any. This is enter. Search your deck for a card named Balmung, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. You may play a card named Balmung from your hand without paying its cost. That is super sweet. What is Balmung? Well, Balmung is a 4-drop chant, 2 of any, 2 light. It says destroy all rested Resonators. Super cool. So once again, this card is a big beater and also has some pretty cool like board wipe capabilities. It's kind of like selective board wipe. I think is really good defensively after your opponent has just swung into you. You can play your Siegfried, do your awakening, so total cost of 6. Search you up for a Balmung and then drop it and blow up all your opponent's dudes. Really cool. Or if there's another way, you can like maybe rest all of your opponent's dudes and then drop Balmung and blow them all up. In any case, I really like it. I think it's really cool. And let's talk about the next card. So the next card is actually the only wind card I've chosen for my top 10, but I think it's really cool. It's also kind of boring, but I think it's also really cool too. I'm going to play with it a lot. It's Karora the Crow Tengu? Karora? I don't know how to pronounce her name. She's the Crow Tengu. She's a 1200/1200 for 3 of any and 2 wind, Resonator yokai. Quick cast, flying, barrier chant, cannot be cancelled. This card is a house. It is so difficult to deal with. It can't be cancelled. It has barrier chant, so it basically dodges a lot of removal, except for like Resonator based removal. It has quick cast, so you can drop it at the end of your opponent's turn. You can drop it as a surprise blocker. It has flying. This card is awesome. I love this card a lot. I can see this being as the top end in a control style deck. I can see this being as the top end in a lot of decks. Basically, if you're going to get up to 5 will, this card's going to be very difficult to deal with. Also, once again, excellent art. Alright, so this next card is probably the cutest card on my list. It is Jormungandr, Little Eater of Worlds. This is a tiny little Jormungandr. He's a 400 for 1 water Resonator Beast. Says this card gains plus 500 for each growth counter on it. When this card attacks, you may remove a gluttony counter from it. If you do, remove target resonator your opponent controls from the game. So he has 2 different kinds of counters on it, which is kind of weird. You're going to need like some way to differentiate if something's a glutton counter or if it's a growth counter. But I'm sure you can figure something out. It is an Awakening of 2, and it enters the field with a growth counter. So if you want to have him come into play as a 3-drop, he's a 900. And he also has an Awakening of a water, and he enters the field with a gluttony counter on it. You can also banish a water magic stone and put a growth or a gluttony counter on it. And you can only play this ability during your turn and only once per turn. So you can make him pretty big. And you can also, you know, kill your opponent's dudes. You can see a theme here. Like a lot of these resonators that have these abilities built in that remove your opponent's resonators. And I think this is better than just destroy resonator. He's going to remove it from the game. That's super sweet. I really do think this Jormungandr is kind of like the complete package. I don't know if it'll see a whole lot of play, but I think it's really good. And I'm definitely going to be playing around with it. If I'm going to make any kind of water deck, this dude is going right in it. Next up, we have another giant, awesome resonator with Anubis, Administrator of the Hounds. And she is huge. She's a 1500 for a crap load of will. That is 5 of fire, 3 of any, so 8 total. Gross. But you can pay 1 less to play this card for each fire rune revealed from your rune area. So if you have 3 revealed, then she only costs 5. So pretty good, not too bad. It says if a card would be put into your opponent's graveyard from anywhere, remove it from the game instead. This is a huge, like, graveyard hoser. And also has an enter. This card deals 1500 damage divided as you choose to any number of target resonators. So this card can potentially wipe your entire opponent's board. This is a really, really good top end card for mid-range to control style decks. You can also see this kind of theme here in the cards that I like to play. I think Anubis is great. There's another card that goes with Anubis, but I'm not going to talk about that here because I don't think it's super good, at least not yet. But yeah, let's move on. Next up, we have the only magic stone on the list. We have Magic Stone of Faith. So this is a special magic stone with excellent artwork. It has rest, produce a white will, or a light will. If you spend this will to play a human or Valkyrie, it cannot be canceled. And I think the humans and Valkyries are really sweet. It's a very aggressive strategy. I think like a light human / Valkyrie style aggressive deck. I think it's going to be really good, especially with cards like Magic Stone of Faith. All in all, I love cards and effects like this. Makes it so your guys can't be canceled. I know people really hate all like the prevalent cancel and force will right now, and this card is really, really good. So yeah, I think this was actually going to see play. Next up, we have Azazel, the Fallen Angel of Gloom. So she is a 900/1000 for 2 of any and 2 darkness. She is a Resonator Fallen Angel. I don't know if she counts as an angel or just she doesn't because she's a Fallen Angel. I don't know. She has flying. She says you may pay 2 less to play this card if your opponent has 1 or less cards in their hand. So this card is like a discard matters type card, which I think is really cool. Also, art, very cool. It says enter, choose 1, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put a card from among them in your hand, and the rest in your graveyard. So that's pretty sweet. You can put stuff into your graveyard to maybe do some like reanimator shenanigans, but it also has some pretty good like card selection. Or you can put target 2 resonators your opponent controls. Your opponent banishes 1 of them. So basically you pick 2 of your opponent's big threats. They have to banish 1 of them. Pretty good. So it's either removal or kind of like some card selection. And if you're lucky, it's only going to cost 2 for a 900/1000. Pretty good. I don't know if this card's going to see any play, but I think it's really sweet. And there's a ton of discard cards out right now, so yeah, maybe this could fit into some like discard style strategy. Maybe that's like a pipe dream, but I really like it. Next up, we have the only rune card in my list. This is Invitation. If you played Magic the Gathering, this is Demonic Tutor. So it is a chant rune, so you can put it in your main deck. It doesn't have to be in your rune deck as Divinity 2. It says you may pay 1 less to play this card from your rune area. So if it is in your rune deck area, it only costs 2 water will to play. By the way, it costs 2 water will and 1 of any, so 3 total, or 2 if it's in your rune area. It has Divinity 2, and it says you can search your deck for a card, put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. That is super sweet. I really want to see some cool combos with this card. This can like search up anything, search up some like key combo pieces. There's not really any super good combo pieces right now. Well, maybe. There might be some cool stuff out there. Let me know what you guys think of Invitation and what the combo potentials are in New Frontiers. There's obviously a ton of combo potential in Wanderer, but I really like this card a lot. You know, Demonic Tutor is one of my favorite cards in Magic the Gathering, and yeah, I think this is just as good or better because you can always have it because it's in your rune area if you choose it to be, or choose for it to be in your rune area. Next up, we have a top-tier waifu. This is Ayu, the Mysterious Wanderer. She's a 600/600 for 2 Light Will. She's a Resonator Were-Rabbit. Quick cast. She has a Rest ability. Return this card to its owner's hand. So very difficult to deal with if she is, well, if she's not rested already. And she has this Enter ability. You gain X hundred life, where X is the number of runes revealed from your rune area. So I like this card quite a bit. I think it's very interesting. It's like this recurring life gain ability. Also, I really like Ayu, so I probably would have put Ayu on here no matter what. And I don't know, this is kind of something I haven't really seen before in Force of Will, where you can just kind of keep returning to your hand and gaining life. It's also like a 600/600 quick cast for 2. Pretty good. Like, good stats. The fact that it has quick cast also has like a lot of shenanigan potential. I like this card quite a bit. I don't know if it'll see play. Probably not, but I really like it. And the final card for today is this big badass fallen angel dude, Belial, the evil from the scriptures. And he is sweet. So he's a 1200/1200 for 3 of any and 3 darkness. Resonator, fallen angel. He has flying. If your life is 1000 or less, you may pay 3 less to play this card. So if you are on the back screen, you have 1000 or less life, he only costs 3 to play. That's really sweet. And he has an Enter ability, destroy all non-fallen angel resonators. That is super cool. But there's more. He says whenever a resonator is put into a graveyard from the field, this card deals 100 damage to your opponent. So that is whenever any resonator is put into the graveyard from the field. Not just your opponent's resonators, not just yours. When any resonator hits the graveyard, your opponent eats 100 damage. This card is awesome. I love cards like this that help you come back in the game. Cards that are good both when you're losing and when you're winning. So when you're losing, he's only going to cost 3 to play if you're at 1000 or less life, and he can come back and win the game for you. He's a big beater. 1200/1200 flying is awesome. And, you know, he blows up everything else. So if your opponent is having this overwhelming board presence, you can play Belial, blow up all your opponent's dues, and you have a chance to win. Also, on the other hand, if you're winning already and you're playing Fallen Angels, you just play it, you know, get the final nail in the coffin, blow up all of your opponent's dues, and smash in for the win. I love Belial quite a bit. I can't imagine him not seeing play somewhere. He might, depending on how the meta goes, but man, I'm definitely running him. Also, once again, very, very cool artwork. And there you guys go. That was my top 10 cards of New Dawn Rises. I hope you guys liked it. What are your favorite cards in the set? I'm actually very curious to know. My initial list, I just kind of went through every single card in the set and I added it to a list. Like, these are the cards I want to talk about. And my initial list was about 30 cards long. I really had to cut it down. There's a lot of cool stuff in the set. And I kind of picked like the bigger, flashier cards for this video instead of like the, like I said, you know, there's that discard spell. It's good. I like it, but it's not interesting. It's just like, okay, this is a good card. So yeah, let me know what your guys' favorite cards are. Maybe like, comment, and or subscribe. Every little bit helps, and I appreciate it oh so much. And I will see you guys next time for some more Force of Will content. Have a good one all, and I will see you later.